Joining me right now, back on the show, is UFC flyweight contender Gillian Robertson. What's going on, Gillian?
Not much, just getting close now. We're 3.5 weeks out, so finish up this fight camp strong. I'm ready.
Yeah, it's the quickest turnaround, I think, so far in your UFC career. Were you kind of surprised by them announcing a fight so fast after your last win?
I'm definitely surprised. They seem to have me on like a 6-month schedule before this, so literally it was 2 days, a 2-day turnaround. I fought on Saturday. I had a Sunday rest day. Monday I was back in the gym, and then Monday night I know about the fight. So it was like 2 days after my fight, I already had fight news, and so I really can't ask for anything more. That's just exactly what I want.
When they announced that you were gonna fight Maycee Barber, what was your initial reaction to the matchup?
I wanted it. I really wanted this matchup for a while. I feel like she talks a lot. She's talking about a lot about girls who are irrelevant. Right before we got matched up, she was talking about Paige Van Zant, Mackenzie Dern, and Montana De La Rosa, saying they were all denying fights with her, which I'm pretty sure was all inaccurate. So just her talking so much, saying nobody wanted to fight her, it really made me want that fight. And I know that she's a very favorable matchup for me, so it made me excited.
Yeah, she seems like she's really, even now after this fight has been announced, she's really focused on Paige Van Zant for some reason. What do you think's behind that campaign to fight her?
It's understandable with Paige. Like, she's obviously the money fight. She's got a lot of publicity behind her. I think she has like 1 million followers on Instagram. So it's like, you get that fight, you get that publicity, but you got to look at the fight that's ahead of you. You got a contract signed right now, so pay attention to that fight. And I feel like she's kind of overlooking me. I feel like she doesn't see me as a threat as much, even though I have just as many finishes as her on my record. I'm just as much of a threat. I just feel like she's kind of overlooking me.
She also, has a lot of hype surrounding her. What is your thoughts on her hype? Like, that everybody's kind of high on her as an undefeated fighter.
I feel like she's worked for it. She's 7-0 and she's 20 years old. Like, that is understandable why there is hype behind her, but she also hasn't had competition like me yet. She hasn't had any high-level grapplers that have been there to test her yet.
When you look at her, and analyze her previous fights, what type of fight does she bring to the octagon that kind of gets you up in the morning to train?
Shit, anything gets me out of bed to train in the morning. I feel like she's definitely an aggressive fighter. She's really good with her kicks and then her Muay Thai, so her elbows and her knees. She's going to come at me hard and wild. I feel like she's going to be an aggressive fight, but my jiu-jitsu is just going to be too much. I feel like when we're just going to go in there, we're just going to close the distance and grab her as soon as possible, just get to my game plan and get me as much time as I can working on the floor.
Yeah, she is very aggressive. If you noticed in her last couple of fights, it's almost like she's overly aggressive. Do you think that that's going to be dangerous for her in this fight?
That's something that'll definitely be dangerous if it is a game plan she comes in with. Honestly, I expect her to be playing a little bit more on the outside, like trying to use her footwork more and just trying to come in with shot, like land like one strike at a time kind of thing. I don't feel like she's going to be necessarily as aggressive because of my takedown style. Because she fought Mallory Martin about a year ago, who's another fairly well-rounded grappler, and she kind of played on the outside a little bit more there. Since she's been in the UFC, all she's fought is pure strikers, girls who don't really have a grappling background. So she was a little bit more comfortable being that aggressive,
You're number 15, she's number 12. You get this win over her. Where does that put you in the rankings, do you believe? Do you feel that kind of can propel you into the top 10?
Possibly. I don't know. I guess the number doesn't really matter to me as much. I'm in it for the fun of it, really. I just like doing this, and I'm just want to keep on winning fights, and numbers going to keep on going up because I'm just going to keep on getting wins.
Is there any names, that are big names? I'm pretty sure after this, you're going to want a bigger name and working yourself up to that title fight. We've talked about this before, but is there any particular fighter that, you would like to face maybe in the early next year or at the end of this year? Who knows?
I'd love the Paige fight if they wanted to give me that one. I'd love to take the last fight on her contract, or really any girl. It doesn't matter. Like you said, this fight might move me up to top 10. So any girl that's gonna make me push me up higher, bump me up further, I'm down for that.
All right. Well, the strawweight title switched hands. UFC Shenzhen. Zhang Waialae, she knocked out Jessica Andrade in less than a minute. When you saw that, were you pretty shocked?
I was definitely shocked. I honestly had Andrade winning that. I knew Zhang was a monster. Like just watching her fight Tisha Torres and watching her fight Jessica Aguilar. They both trained with American Top Team for both those camps, and just watching those fights, it was those were rough fights for them. And so it's like obviously she showed what she was capable of. But to go in there and to do that to Andrade was definitely, I didn't expect that outcome.
Is that kind of like your plan? Like how Zhang did it. She just fought anybody, and then people started denying her. Like they didn't want to fight her, and then they had to just give her the title shot. Is that kind of a way that you want to do it?
Of course, no matter what. Oh, honestly, I don't want people denying me. I want those fights to keep on coming in. I'm trying to be as active as possible, but I'm just trying to keep on getting finishes, trying to keep on getting girls out of there. And on, I feel like it's weird to say, but I don't feel like my style looks as intimidating as it is. I feel like a lot of girls look at it and they're like, "Oh, I can defend that takedown, or I can do this." They feel like my style doesn't look as aggressive as it is. But like I said, I have six finishes. I've finished 6 of my 7 wins, so there's no way to say that it's not.
Well, your last finish was pretty violent. I'm thinking that was the most violent finish of your career, right?
Oh, definitely. It was my first TKO, and yeah, it's like even then, I was just happy that I got to display my ground and pound. I was still looking for the choke, still looking for the submission, and the ref said to me, he was like, "I need." Well, he said to Sarah actually, he was like, "I need more out of you, Frota." And the second he said that, I was like, "Oh, that's my cue to go." So then I just started throwing more.
Frota, she tested positive the day of the event for PEDs. What was your reaction when you heard the news?
I guess neutral. It kind of surprised me because I didn't feel any advantage. I guess necessarily, I didn't feel like she was really strong or anything like that. But I guess I don't know. You can't be necessarily surprised in the sport. There's a lot of it going on, but that's why USADA is there to help keep us safe, and uh, we just have to be thankful for them, I guess.
She, was suspended 2 years, but she also said that she's going to continue fighting, for other promotions. When you hear that, is the penalty, harsh enough? Because it seems like it's not like deterring people from taking PEDs, the suspensions.
Well, yeah, no, because she got cut from the UFC for it, so it's like that's a pretty big penalty in itself. It's hard to find another promotion, especially at that level. And once you do tarnish your name with something like that, getting kicked out of the UFC because of PEDs, and going to a promotion like Bellator or something like that's going to be harder to do. And those are the higher paying promotions, so it's going to be harder to have a career in this necessarily. So even though she can keep on fighting, she's probably going to. And just you're not going to get a good promotion. You're not going to be making money. You're just going to be fighting bums.
You are a member of American Top Team, and I'm pretty sure people in the gym are talking about this beef between Covington and Masvidal. Is there tensions in American Top Team, or is it just between them? It's just their thing, and you guys are not even worried about it.
I guess I'm sort of out of that. American Top Team's such a huge gym that I kind of stay out of the drama. I just go in there and train, stay to myself. But definitely seen it online, and haven't seen them in the gym together yet. So there's nothing to say about that yet.
All right. One last thing before I let you go. There's many different types of competitors in the UFC and MMA. Do you consider yourself at this point in your career a martial artist or a prize fighter?
I'd probably consider myself more of a martial artist, but I would honestly like to work into the prize fighting kind of idea of it, because I actually have been working with someone to help me talk better, and to not be as nervous, because I'm terrible in front of people. I'm terrible at talking in front of crowds. So I definitely need to work on selling myself more and becoming that figure, just that icon kind of thing, like that Conor McGregor kind of thing, which obviously I'll never amount to that, but I want to be able to talk myself up more and be able to be more than just a martial artist.
What do you mean you've been working with somebody to advance
Um,
your?
there's my coach Dean Thomas. He actually works with the ESPN West Palm, and I've been working with one of the communications people there, and just to help me, because like I have like a nervous giggle, and I just the way I talk sometimes, I just to present myself better.
October 18th in Boston, Massachusetts. Thank you so much for the time, and good luck on your future.
Thank you so much for having me.